Hey guys, Brian from PS4 Trophies, and before jumping right in, I want to mention that this video is brought to you by Watchable.com. My videos, along with tons of other great gaming content, is available on Watchable.com. You can also download the free iOS app. Actually, to watch some of the web's best video content, Watchable.com and the Watchable iOS app are both completely free, so go check out my videos or discover any other top-tier web shows. So, you might have a trophy addiction, or you might have one and not even know it. So what I've done is I've compiled a list of signs that may indicate that you have an excessive love of trophies. The first sign that you may have a little addiction to the shiny digital trinkets is the refusal to buy games that don't have a platinum trophy. This is a very common symptom. I can't even tell you how many times I've seen people claim that they will not buy a game if it doesn't have a platinum, and almost every time I upload a trophy guide on an indie game, one of the first comments is always, does it have a platinum? Now, numerous times I've seen people post in my comments or on various forums that they won't buy a game because it lacks a platinum. Now allow me to take a moment here and speak directly to PlayStation. Just allow all games to have a platinum. Xbox had made a change recently to their system where all games now have 1,000 gamer score regardless of the size of the game. I actually have quotes from developers themselves that have said they've applied, that's right, they actually have to be approved to have a platinum, but were turned down by Sony. Now honestly, I personally think they're losing sales, and allowing developers to include platinum trophies regardless of the scale of the game doesn't cost them anything, it's free. Now, I tweeted about this recently on my Twitter, so help me get the word out by retweeting that message, and I'll put a link to that tweet in the description. Now, the next sign that you may have a little trophy addiction is if you subscribe to rental video game services. These services include Gamefly, Boomerang Rentals if you're in the UK, or even PlayStation Now. Now, certainly just paying a monthly fee for access to games doesn't necessarily mean you have a trophy problem, but it does if you're specifically renting games you ordinarily would have no interest in just to get the trophies. Now, while I'll happily buy games without platinums because in my mind every trophy counts, I am certainly guilty of using a rental subscription service to farm trophies in the past, and I'm strongly considering signing up for a free trial of PlayStation Now just to see if I can get, let's just say, 10 platinums in a single month. Now, next up is a sign here that now I'm definitely guilty of this, and that is if you've purchased peripherals to get easy trophies. Now these include many different forms, including purchasing a second controller just so you can get co-op related trophies on your own. In fact, diehard trophy hunters out there will even have 4 controllers with no intention of actually ever playing with 3 other people. Now at this point in time, I'm not against calling the PlayStation Vita a peripheral as well, seeing it seems that Sony is barely acknowledging its existence and basically only encourages the use of it for remote play. Of course, the system still has some easy trophy games thanks to the limited third-party support it is receiving. Then there's the PlayStation Move, which surprisingly offered some fairly difficult platinums, but I certainly purchased the Move knowing full well that I would get a whole bunch of new games to get trophies in. Well, at least that was the promise by Sony prior to them dropping complete support of it. But the biggest farming trophy farming peripheral out there of all time was the U-Draw for the PlayStation 3. This was a very short-lived tablet made by THQ with only a handful of games that ever supported it. The games were so awful, but the platinums were actually really easy, so if you spot any games that required U-Draw on somebody's trophy profile, you know they are diehard trophy fanatics. The next sign that you might have a trophy addiction is if you've ever gotten 2 or more platinums for the same game. And I know what you're asking. You're asking, well, how do you get more than 1 platinum in a single game? Well, the most obvious way is to play the PS3 version and then replay the PS4 version or even Vita. Another way is to play the same game that was sold in 2 different regions. Most of the time, different region games share the same trophy list, but occasionally they will have a separate trophy list. For example, if you buy the North American version of Rayman Legends, you can import the Chinese version of the same game and get all the trophies all over again. Same thing with Trivial Pursuit Live between the North American and European region. And let's take Telltale's The Walking Dead. You can get 4 platinum trophies for one single game. One for buying the Japanese PS3 version, which will obviously require you to make an account tied to the Japanese PSN store, and then you can buy the game in any other region for a total of 2 trophies, or 2 platinum trophies. Then you can replay it again on PS4 and then Vita, making it for a total of 4. Now if you really want to go bonkers, you can get 7 different platinums in The Evil Within, or 9 in Everybody's Golf. Now there's a link in the description to a forum which lists the available stackable games if you are really that dedicated. Now the final sign that you might have a trophy addiction is if you have ever earned a platinum trophy that you are ashamed of. Now these are games that you're embarrassed that people can view on your public profile. Now the term trophy whore is a term that originated in the early PS3 days. At the time, the benchmark to determine if you were such a person was if you had one single platinum, specific platinum on your trophy card, and that was Hannah Montana the game. At the time, this was the easiest and shortest platinum you could obtain. Of course, that's far from the case now, but you really wanted that platinum, but you didn't want people to know that you had played the game, unless of course you were a young fangirl at the time. Hannah Montana the game may be the original shameful platinum, but it's certainly not the last. Since that original game, there have been many, most of which are just basically kid movie tie-in games such as like Megamind, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, Goosebumps, and recently Snoopy's Grand Adventure. Actually, there's one last sign that you might have a trophy problem, and that is if you own a YouTube channel called PS4 Trophies. Now I make light of addiction in this video, but I want to say that addiction is a serious issue, and if you or someone you know suffers from it, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, gaming, whatever, please seek professional help. And that's it guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this, and we'll see you soon.